This episode of the Fight Within podcast is presented to you by Meguiar's. For over 115 years, Meguiar's has been carefully creating and producing advanced formulas with cutting-edge chemistry to deliver a show car perfect appearance. Whether you're showing on the fairway, finalizing your car for auction, or simply getting your beloved car ready for a weekend drive, Meguiar's is ready to help with their premium car care products to make every automotive surface look its absolute best. Meguiar's, reflect your passion. Make sure to visit them at meguiars.com.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. Today's guest is a little different. She is my beautiful wife, the amazing mother to our children, the all-around badass woman, the one and only Devyn Briggs.
Devyn Briggs.
Actually, long story short, she hasn't taken my last name yet, so Devyn Castel de Oro.
Oh my gosh.
But welcome to the Fight Within podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, obviously this episode in particular is going to be a little bit different, and I feel really freaking cool that I get to interview my wife, because you have, obviously, you're my wife and I love you, and you're the mother to our awesome daughter. We're popping out another one soon, baby Bo. If you want to send us some boy gifts, let us know. But in all honesty, Devyn, we've been together for almost 8 years now, and I've seen her hustle and grind and figure out what she wants to do. And now, you went from being a hairstylist to network marketing, and as a husband, being able to watch you enter something new. It's been a little over a year now, and you found something that you're extremely passionate about. You're freaking insanely good at it. You are literally the epitome of what's the cool thing right now?
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, like a Wonder Woman.
A boss babe?
Or a boss babe, thank you.
Oh,
the boss
yeah.
babe. You got the boss babe hat on. You're ready to rock
Yes.
the boss babe stuff. So tell us just a little bit about what network marketing has done for you, and we'll kind of just go from there. Manny and I are enjoying a really nice whiskey. We're going to cheers each other.
Cheers.
So yeah, network marketing, if anyone's unfamiliar with it, network marketing, multi-level marketing, direct selling, it has a bunch of different names. Or I feel like a big misconception is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
A lot of people do think that,
For
honestly. Sure. I think it's super common. I actually thought it and thought I would never do anything like that. That was like a weird thing. But once I learned about the business model, it was just kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, network marketing is an even level playing field for anyone. So anyone can come in and, you all start at the same place. You can't just, it doesn't matter if you went to college. It doesn't matter what your background is, socioeconomic, nothing matters. So I think what it's given me, it's taught me, and what I love to teach others is that anyone can do this if you're willing to work hard. So that's the big thing, is I do think anyone can do this if you're willing to put in the time and develop your leadership and communication skills. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but honestly, it's just given me a lot of freedom as a woman and having kind of just my own thing. Like you mentioned, I did hair before. I liked doing hair. I didn't love doing hair. I know a lot of my girlfriends I went to school with, super, super passionate about it, but I always knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like when we got married, he was kind of like,
I was thinking dollar
what?
signs.
Yeah. He actually told me when we were pregnant with Cash, that's our daughter, he said, you grow, and he was kidding, by the way. Well, he was pretty much kidding.
Kind of. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I was kidding.
He said, you have 9 months to grow a baby, so you have 9 months off work, and then you gotta, you're gonna go back. And I was like, that's what he thinks. Like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, because I was raised by a single mom who worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
Super thankful for everything she did. So I just knew I wanted to stay home, and basically I kind of knew when we got pregnant I wasn't going to go back to the salon. I wasn't going to go back to doing hair. And when we had our daughter, I for sure was like, there's no way I'm going back. And he was, I think, totally I would say on board once we had her.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
kind of seeing like that transition of not really wanting someone else to raise your kids and just,
Yeah.
Kind of
Was
going.
it easier? Sorry, but was it easier to stay home because you didn't have a like this love or this passion for being a hairstylist?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was very, very easy because I think, well, not even I think, I know, becoming a mom was the very first time in my life where I felt like I was made for this and I was
Yeah.
called to do this, which was so crazy for me because I really was not maternal. I wasn't like that person that loved babies.
She wasn't even ready for a baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
was,
No,
yeah,
I was because I'm old.
we're 5
You're
years
not
apart. So
old.
he,
Well, compared to her, I was for 5 years.
yeah.
Dude, I didn't want to be like the grandpa. I was like
5 years.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
bro.
married and he was ready. I mean, we got pregnant like a year after marriage, but for me it was
Yeah.
like, what? Like we're having a baby. And so, yeah, I didn't grow up like I wasn't that maternal woman who loved holding babies or anything
Yeah.
like that. So when I became a mom, it was a shock to me how much I loved it and was like, wow, I really was created to like I knew I wanted to stay home, but there was always something that was like, do I want to stay home? And then once we had her, it was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And I think, yeah, it made it easy because I didn't love doing hair. What I loved about doing hair was meeting people and getting to make connections.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about people. I love getting to know someone's story. So as a hairdresser, you get to know people really well. They tell you their whole life. But standing on my feet for 12 hours a day, like I didn't love doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like really it made it easy to stay home, but then being, fast forward to 8 months postpartum when I learned about what network marketing could offer myself and our family, I was feeling very much, I don't want to say lost in motherhood, but I loved being home with our daughter, but also was easy to feel like I don't have anything of my own anymore. Like just being mom was all I had. So there was a part of me that was longing for something else, but I knew I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I didn't want to go back to the salon. And we were in a place financially where we did need the money, honestly. And so I was like, I felt bad for not working because obviously I don't know if there's any other like stay-at-home moms that listen or are listening to this, but it's hard when you see your husband like taking all the financial burden. Even though you're doing, I think, the best job ever. You're raising a tiny human. But it was just, I don't know. I was in a place where I was like, I need something that I can do while I'm at home and have a flexible work schedule. And network marketing was that answer. It was you get to set your own hours. You get to be your own boss, schedule things when I want to, how I want to. And again, it's an efforts-based business. So it's everything you get. What is the thing? You get in what you
get what you put
get.
in.
Yes. Like,
I
what
got
am I
you.
trying to say?
Get out.
Or you get out what you
right.
put.
You said it right.
Like you guys know what I'm saying.
it.
Yeah.
We get it. They definitely get
I don't
it.
know if you get it, but
Did you get any flack for wanting to stay home? I mean, we live in Orange County. It's a lot of people that especially with like empowering women and women being equal and we can do all this and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's almost now like the mentality has shifted to say no, like because women can do everything, you should go work. You should go do this, and that work-life balance isn't there. When I think it's a beautiful thing when the mom wants to stay home, and she wants to raise the family, and she wants to have that impact and be the role model for their kids to say, look, like our family structure is this. Here's our foundation. This is how we're going to love in this house. This is how we're going to fight in this house. And this is how we're going to become a family is because mom's there. Now, if you need to go work and women, some of them have to, like you were saying, you guys were in a position where you needed that financially. Is that what motivated you to want to get into network marketing? Or was it something that you always kind of knew you wanted to do as kind of help,
Yeah.
Like where did that come from?
yeah, I feel like it was kind of both. I mean, I don't think I felt any flack from from wanting to stay home. I think the only thing that I ever really felt was, my mom was a single mom, so she worked really hard. So I knew that was kind of like what you did. You go to work, and then his parents are entrepreneurs. So I feel like for his parents, I felt this kind of pressure, and we've never even talked about it, but his parents are the best ever. But they were entrepreneurs that worked really, really hard as Ben was growing up. And so I felt like it was a very foreign concept for me to stay home. So I feel like in my immediate circle,
Yeah.
it kind of felt like, I don't know if people approve of this, but this is what I want to do. Even though I know everyone, like our family loves us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They would never be like, go work. But I think it was foreign for probably his parents and even my mom
It
because
was
she
foreign
worked.
for me too.
Yeah.
It's because it's not what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I mean, you can attest to this, but like the amount of work it is to be a parent and then take that a step further to be a stay-at-home parent, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, a stay-at-home parent deciding to make that their sole job for that season. My hat is off to all of them because there's times where, man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, I don't know how you guys do it, but I have the utmost respect for you guys that do that because it sounds bad and I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but it's like I obviously wanted to be home with my family, right? But when I was at work, and again, this is where I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but like that was my time to get away. It was like it was I'm working trying to provide for my family, but it's also a break. I don't have to be on guard 24/7 like versus you were literally you were freaking so 100% in it all the time. And that's like why I, as a husband and a dad, like made the decision, right? I already knew I was going to do this, but like the first few weeks in seeing it, I was like, I'm going to do everything in my physical power to make sure my wife has to do nothing else besides but to raise our baby.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it was that concept of, dude, she's hustling, raising our child. I'm going to make sure she has to do nothing else. I will do the grocery shopping. I will do the laundry. I will do the cleaning. I will do the cooking because, I didn't have a break today. I had a break today. She didn't.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those things where, so for me, when she wanted to stay at home, I was like, damn, we're in Orange County. Like, and it's funny because everyone that knows me and that knew us in Hidden House, I must be some loaded rich guy, right? Like, I had successful businesses, which I did. But again, it's like people don't understand the cost of doing business, let alone in Southern California. So our businesses were doing well, but if you're paying $2,000 to $4,000 a month in rent and you're living off one income and you have 40 employees that have to get a paycheck before you and you have all these things, it's like, well, yeah, we might be doing a good job at our business, but man, I sell a $4 freaking coffee. Like, it was just always funny, and Devyn and I would always talk about it, where it's like the perception that people had of us. I hated to wear, dude, I would hate to wear a new shirt because people would be like, oh, you guys are rich, or like, like we get a cool, I don't know, we got something cool for our house or something. Oh my gosh, look at the Briggs, they're loaded, and it's like, you guys have no clue what we're really facing, how we're trying to figure out how are we going to pay our bills this month.
But even if you are, you put in the effort.
I know
to do that.
She tells me that all the time. I'm indifferent when it comes to that because I get that and it's probably why I'm not a cutthroat one of the reasons why I'm not a cutthroat businessman, but it's like I think I don't even like when Devyn, we got a new car because Devyn deserved it, and so we got a new car, and she hustled and earned it, so we got a new car. And what people don't see is that we sold my car to pay for this new car. And so for a while, we really only were driving one car, but all the people saw was the new car.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm not joking you. And for everyone like listening out there, you might laugh at me, but it's like, I would park in the back of the parking lot and walk. I would have to go to an employee's house once in a while to drop something off because they forgot, whatever the case may be. I would park around the block. I felt ashamed to have something that we earned, that she earned and worked for and hustled for, But it's the perception of people. And I know I need to get over that. And this year, 2020, has really taught me to pretty much get over that. But it's like, it sucks that you have to have that mentality. And,
Yeah.
you know, like I just went on a tangent, but back to Devyn, you know, back to the wife, basically it's like, when she first told me she wanted to do network marketing, dude, I've told you this and I told her that, but I was just like the emoji with the dude, like the dude
Yeah.
slapping his forehead. And
Well,
I was
I
like,
was so scared to tell him that I wanted to do
Really?
it too. Yeah.
dude, I was like, come on. Are you really being suckered into the pyramid scheme? I was like, no, we're not doing that. But if
Yeah.
you want to do it, I'm going to support you. And I vividly remember telling her, if whatever it is that you're selling and doing doesn't work for me, I'm not going to lie and vouch for it. I will support you, but if Manny goes, hey, Ben, what do you think about that product?
So-and-so,
I
yeah.
would be like, it didn't work, man. Like I can't lie to you. I was like,
Yeah.
I love my wife and I want her to do well, but I can't
Yeah.
lie. And I honestly think, like, circling back to that though, the honesty and like the genuineness of who you are is what really helped you kind of take off. And so like going back to network marketing and with you, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that think it's a scam, and I've seen, like, you know, people that think they're some serial entrepreneur, like, post things about all you people that focus on growing someone else's business when you can be focusing on your own. I'm like, okay, I get where you're coming from because I've been hustling for 10 years on my own.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what Devyn's been able to do is her own business. It is your own because you get what you put in, right? But at the same time, it's like, to all those people out there that think that way, I will kindly say agree to disagree, because I think you're missing the mark here. Like, what she's been able to create and what you have is your own. But kind of just tell us what it's like to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and like, I don't want to sound cheesy and lame, but to be essentially in control of your work destiny,
Yeah.
and tell what it's done for our family. You know, and this is going back to kind of like what I was saying, is like, I need to stop being afraid of what we have earned and what God has blessed us with.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to put it in people's face, but like, I am so incredibly proud of like what you've been able to accomplish. And now I'm like, dude, now she tells me something, I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You want me to put an shirt on? You want me to do this? You want me
Yeah.
to do that? You want me to
Yeah.
jump up and down and drink pumpkin spice lattes? Whatever you want me to do, tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah.
I'm your biggest fan now, you know.
Yeah.
But tell us, like,
Yeah.
just what it's like in you know, listening to you do what you do all the time, and the way you're able to lead and be effective and really be able to communicate, I think is something that is really genuine, and speak to that. Like, tell people listening right now that might be wondering, should I do this? Should I not? I have this opportunity. I don't have this opportunity. I could do this. I could not do this. Like, just kind of speak to them like you were, or like you were speaking to yourself essentially a year and a half ago, and how you currently speak to other people when they ask you to lead something.
Yeah. I mean, whoa, that was a lot.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's the
It's the
It's the
whiskey.
whiskey. Just kidding. No, it's kind of actually tying both back, because Manny had asked, did I always want to do network marketing or have something outside of it? And you had said, you know, being a full-time stay-at-home mom or parent, that's a huge, huge job. And how you said, you know, going to work, you have a break. That's what I have with my business, because I can set my own hours. And it's actually why I did start. So being 8 months postpartum, I kind of mentioned it, but like, I felt very like I wanted something outside of motherhood. And I felt very much just kind of lost, because when you become a mom, you gain a new sense of yourself and a new part of yourself, but you're losing part of yourself as well, because you're in this new chapter. And so again, being 8 months, and it was only 8 months in, sometimes I'm like, I don't know kind of how you said. And I think it's amazing if someone feels called to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. But I was like, wow, I do need something. So having something to do while our daughter naps, and now I don't know what it's going to look like having two. I'm like, I don't know what my work schedule is going to look like.
Yeah.
But knowing when she goes down for her nap, I love what I get to do. So I look forward to working. So like, for example, today, she did not nap. She napped for like 30 minutes. I got ready, and I was ready to sit down and work, because that's like my me time. I don't have to think about being a mom. I don't have to think about anything else. I get to focus on my business. and it's almost like therapeutic for me. And so just kind of like having that has been so amazing because, again, being a mom is my number one priority, but having something for myself is huge. It's been just so amazing. And for anyone who, I don't know, is curious about it, or kind of how you were saying, you were asking like if someone were interested type
Yeah.
of thing. I mean, I say like listen to that tug on your heart, and you just have to get over what people are going to think, because people are always going to have opinions. And that was something that I had
Sure.
to get over, especially like coming to Ben when I wanted to do it, when I thought it literally took me like days to talk to him, to think about how do I want to tell
How
him I want
long?
to do this, because you hear, I think, from so many people, again, it's pyramid scheme, it's whatever these ideas that you
Yeah.
have. And it was me coming to my husband, who's a successful entrepreneur who has brick and mortar businesses. What is he going to think of me when he's a real business owner? And that was really, really hard. And I think a lot of people have that concept of it's not this real business. It's weird. We all have our ideas with it, or of it, because we've been told, I mean, it's very unconventional. It's not like a normal, it's not normal. I think it's becoming more normal.
But you had to speak on that because you had that thought. You had the thoughts of it being a pyramid scheme of being, this multi-level marketing's terrible. So what do you do now? Like, do you set up a schedule? Do you have times that you work? What do you do to normalize it?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, my personal schedule, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. I feel like I was, especially in the beginning, and I'm still learning, I had a really hard time balancing because, again, I really, really love what I get to do. I love
Mm-hmm.
helping people start their businesses because I know, again, how bad we needed it almost a year and a half ago. So I love finding new people. Like I always say, like my why now with my business is to find more Devyns. Like there was
Mm-hmm.
me a year and a half ago where our family desperately needed this. So I want to find more people that are like me, that are wanting something, whether it's just outside of motherhood or they need it financially, whatever that looks like for them. Um, and just, I don't know, I guess it's been hard kind of finding that balance, but to normalize it for myself, I feel like it really has been just kind of working during Cash's nap schedule,
Mm-hmm.
or even tonight I have something scheduled later, like after she goes to bed. So it's just kind of fitting it in. We always say for anyone in network marketing, it's fitting it into the nooks and crannies of your day. You got to figure out how it works. Like there are girls
Mm.
that are on my team who actually own brick and mortar businesses, and girls who are nurses, school teachers. So everyone that does this, their schedule looks different. And that's what I meant by an even level playing field, is it doesn't matter like where you come from, what you do, you can fit it into your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So my schedule probably looks a lot different than someone who's working a 9 to 5 or is working those 12-hour shifts as a nurse. So for me, it really is just kind of setting those hours when Cash is not with me. And of course, there are times working from your phone. It's amazing to work from your phone, but it also can be hard because my phone's there. My daughter needs me, and I'm trying to like find this balance. So it really has been just kind of, I feel like day to day, it's a little bit
It's a
different,
little different.
honestly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's helped your guys' marriage, like your guys' relationship, to now where maybe you understand things that he was going through, being an entrepreneur, and you can identify with him. Now you just have more in common.
Oh, dude, I
You
mess
know?
with her hard
Yeah.
on this one. So go ahead, take it
I
away.
I think it has a lot, and I think I've learned a lot from him because I mean, he's been doing it 10 years, 11 years.
10 years,
Yeah.
going on 11.
Yeah, so going on 11 years. So he has a lot more experience than I do. So me having something that I was so, and I still am, but super passionate about, was the first time where I was like, I want to, I want to hustle. I want to do this as
Mm-hmm.
much as I can. And he was kind of like, you need to kind of like have a balance. Because it was really me wanting to work all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what was hard, is because I was like, yeah, but short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
just put in the time now, it creates, you know, choices and flexibility later. So I feel like I understood a lot, but I also felt like we were in different places in our entrepreneurial journeys
100%, yeah.
because he had been in it longer and he knows how to balance where I didn't know how at all. So I think it was actually kind of hard, but Ben's, if anyone knows Ben, he's very like blunt and real. And so I think he really was just very honest with me, like, you can chill out and not be on your phone right now.
I would say things like, "Are you a heart surgeon?"
Yeah, he
Like,
still says it.
You know, like, I love my dad to death, and I don't even know if he'll ever hear this, but it's like, that man
better.
is a freaking workaholic, right?
Yeah.
I learned from that. I mean, it's one of my best qualities I have, the hard work, but it's also something I took from him, and I'm not discrediting him, but I've learned I want to be in the moment. I want to be present. These moments right now
Yeah.
are never going to happen again, and I am not going to miss them unless I absolutely have to. Like, I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm not a heart surgeon. You know, I'm slinging coffee and coaching. Like, it's not a thing. And so I would always tease her and be like, "Oh, did the doctor just paid you or something? You know, like, are you needed?"
Go.
Yeah, I'm like, they need me. He's like, oh my gosh,
But
I'm sure it can wait.
I understand for lack of better terms, the addiction in the success that you crave. And so it was kind of funny to see her go through it because, you know, when we first started dating, I'd be on my phone all the time, you know, and she'd be like, "Get off your phone." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I'm literally working. You think I'm just like cruising Instagram or whatever back then was popular?" I was like,
Taking
I'm like,
selfies.
yeah, I'm working right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, for like the marriage question, was awesome, man. For me, I think it's been the coolest. I tell you this all the time, and I tell other people too. But like for everyone like listening out there and stuff, like I have found for me in watching her grow through this journey, it has been nothing short of amazing. Like I have it's just been insane to watch you grow, to watch you take something from nothing and build it to what it is that has drastically changed what our family dynamic looks like. It's enabled us to do things that we haven't been able to do since we've been together, you know, and it's something when you look back at it and you think about it, it's really cool. But to watch you be able to take something, to grow, to learn, to adapt. She's got people hitting her up all the time to do these different leadership talks, and like, that's my wife. Like, that's my boss babe, you know? It's like, you know, everyone knocks it and makes fun of it, but like, I would have never known that you had any of that in you. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way, but you know, unless you've been in a position where you can kind of have your back against the wall and have to fight your way out, for lack of better terms, like, you will never know what you're capable of. Just to see like what you've accomplished in a year and a half, like, you were so capable of so many different things while raising a child at home. It's insane. And it's, for me, in our marriage, it's made me look at her in a different light and a different perspective. I am amazed by it. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. I think for people out there, whether you want to join network marketing, whether you want to be a fighter, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a freaking school teacher or a dancer, whatever it is, like, this seems to be kind of our trend the last few episodes, but I learned it from my wife. I've learned it before, but she kind of just like hit it home for me. But it's know your why, right? Tell us what your why is. And you know, last week when we had Michael on, it was one of those things where he touched on, he has to know his why. And his why is different than Manny's why. It's different than my why. It's different than your why. It's going to be different than everyone's why. Like, know your why. Speak to why knowing your why is so powerful if we actually utilize it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all of that.
I felt like I was on like
yeah.
some romantic movie.
You just
She's like
behind the
looking at
scenes.
you, and you're just complimenting her.
Man, I just, before you answer that, it's like, I'm proud as hell of my wife. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
brag about you every single second I have, because it's, we talked about this last episode too, but it's being able to brag about yourself is hard, right? Unless you're just an arrogant
weird.
SOB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being able to watch from the sidelines and see what, like, your significant other, your life partner, the mother to your children has done, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And And that's why, like I said, I'm your biggest fan. Like,
I
I've done
know.
some cheesy videos because I'm her
He
biggest
has.
fan.
He has.
You know, and I
Yeah.
don't care. People make fun of me, guys at the gym, like, knock it. I don't care. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
look what it's done for my wife. Who cares about financial positions and what it's done? Look what it's done for her as a person and her as a woman. That's way more powerful to me than anything else. So
Yeah.
touch on like knowing your why and how people can utilize that.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of wrap up from there.
Yeah. Before I get into the why, you had said something like just what it had done for our marriage. Honestly, and kind of how you said, like
He said that.
having your, wait, what?
He said the marriage.
Oh, no.
Oh,
When you were talking
my
about our
bad.
marriage. No, when you were talking
Oh,
about
got it,
our
got it.
marriage. Yeah. I know you asked about marriage. I'm like, wait, what? Just kind of having like my first, or how you said, having your back against the wall, having to fight your way out of something. This was the first time in my life where I've done something and like completed it. I didn't finish college. I did not do well in high school. I barely graduated high school. Like I did the bare minimum. Even doing hair, as I was going through hair school, honestly, the only reason I finished hair school was because I never finished anything before. Like high school was just, I barely graduated, not because I'm not smart, but because I didn't care. I didn't like college. So when I went to hair school, the only reason I finished was because I wanted to prove people wrong, because I felt like I always quit sports. I was never, I love my mom, but she never made me like, I said I didn't want to do a sport anymore, and she'd be like, okay, you're done. So now I'm like, our kids, when they're in something, they're going to finish
Yeah,
that
finish
sport.
it.
Yeah.
To age 4.
Yeah.
That works.
So this was the first time where I felt like I'm going to fight through this and I'm going to do this no matter what. And I'm just going to, I love what I do now. So it's been cool to have something where I feel like where Ben has been able to see me actually complete something. Because I feel like since we've been together, I would like say, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this, and I never finished anything.
So what did you think about yourself? Because you didn't finish those things or do what normal people would do. Did you doubt yourself as you were starting this process?
I did at times. Honestly, when I started, no. Because I was very much like, it's interesting why I would not really give things my all, because when I set my mind to something, like it's if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it type of thing. I'm just stubborn that way. So,
Maybe it's your Mexican side.
yeah, it is. For sure.
Real.
I'm like, oh, you think I can't? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm not like super competitive with others, but I guess I'm competitive with myself in
Yeah.
certain aspects. So I did have times where I doubted myself, but honestly, not even until later in my business, where not like right now, but there were times I think as you start to succeed, you think, can I keep this up? And you have those thoughts of doubt. But no, I just have been so set on like, this is what I love to do. I always say I'm going to do it till I'm like dead. I'm like 90 years old. I love getting to help others and serve others. So I didn't really have it, especially in the beginning. I was just very much like, this is where I'm going and I'm growing this business and I'm going to take whoever wants to come with me. And I think that is why I was able to grow quickly, just because I knew where I wanted to go. And I always say, like, people want to follow someone who knows where they're going.
Yeah. Does that growth or that success make you want to do your own thing? Because I can already see in myself, if I was involved with something like that and had that type of success, I'd be like, oh, well, if I could do it for this company, I should probably develop my own and do my own thing. But that's just because of who I am and the type of nature I have.
Yeah.
So how do you, not hold yourself back, but how do you continue to kind of stay on track and focused when you do have that success? Because I feel like a lot of people get a little bit of success and then they get comfortable. Like I know I did. I got signed to Bellator. I was like, I made it to the big time. I don't have to train as hard because this is what got me here. And you get comfortable and you don't do the things necessary to kind of get yourself to that next level. You've had success doing network marketing. You've built a team around you. You have meetings with your team and you guys hold each other accountable and motivate each other and make each other better. So how do you take that and say we have to kind of stay in our lane? Like, don't get outside of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can actually kind of relate to getting comfortable. So, with where I'm at in the company, it's the top 2%. So, the
Oh,
next
wow.
rank or level is obviously top 1%.
Uh,
And so I feel like because
Boss babe.
because
1.5%.
and that's not to be like, "Oh my gosh," but I think because I did get to that 2%, I did get complacent in certain aspects. So it can be easy to feel like I've never felt like I've arrived because I've always known like where I want to go, how I want to keep growing and moving. But it is easy to feel like I don't know, to kind of like get complacent in
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
aspects. So I've had to learn to just keep going and stay consistent and have the discipline and the grit and just keep going. But as far as like wanting maybe something else outside of what I do, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I love the business model of network marketing because
Yeah.
there's no overhead, there's no inventory. Like I love our businesses, but we have a lot of overhead. We have a lot of stuff that we have to like pay out to break even, where this is essentially
Just your own time.
yeah, it's your pretty much profitable like as you
Did-
start.
How important is it? Like you had mentioned that you know where you're going. You know that you have this goal. This is not your end goal, but you know that you want more from than what you have. How important is it to have someone hold you accountable, or to maybe your husband, like you share your goal with, like, hey, I want to get here. This is
Yeah.
where I want to get. And does Ben hold you accountable in that aspect to be like, hey, babe, no, like you got to keep going.
Yeah.
Like you said, you told
You're
me
doing
you wanted
this, yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And you're here right now. You're so close. Like, go and get it.
Yeah.
Does Ben do that? Does someone on your team hold you accountable? Like, how did you set yourself up for success, or do you have people that are mentors, or like who do you turn to? Is my question.
Yeah.
For
I
that.
mean it's both definitely. So I have on our fridge, I put up like post-it notes for my goals.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Ben really wants me to hit them because he's OCD. He doesn't like anything anywhere. So
I
he's
like
like
clean.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
so
likes
she
things
can't
clean.
remove them until she
Yes.
hits those
So
goals?
he's like, "Are we almost there?" Like, but then I'm like, "But I'm just gonna set a new goal after. Like, there's always gonna be
And that's fine
something
as long as
there."
you knock them down.
As long as there's one.
Yeah. So, so obviously I have Ben. He's amazing, and then I have like the person who introduced me. Her name is Bree. She's been incredible. Oh. I'll edit it. The person who introduced me to network marketing, her name is Bree, and she is someone that is always checking in with me constantly and really just pouring into me and being like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I think there's a lot of people in my industry that we're all just very supportive of each other. So I
Yeah.
have it within the business and company itself, but then I also have it at home. So it is
I think
both
that's
for
huge.
sure. Yeah, and just I think at the end of the day, no one's going to motivate you unless you have like internal motivation. So it has to come from me at the end of the day. Like I could have people hype me up all day, but it really comes down to what am I fueled by? And that goes into like what is my why?
Yeah.
Am I going to persevere through blank, whatever it may be? And so I think just knowing, you know, motivation is going to like come and go. You have to keep yourself motivated just by staying disciplined.
Well, that's
and
where the
consistent.
grittiness comes in.
Grittiness. Yes.
Grittiness. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, just again coming down to like my why, I feel like it's evolving because essentially when I started, and it still is, my why is always going to be my family. My why at the end of the
100%.
day is
Yeah.
always going to be my family. I want to make sure that we can live the life that I envision. And since I was little, and I kind of how he was saying, like you can kind of feel not ashamed or guilty, but like you have these kind of like weird thoughts around money. Since I was little, I've always wanted a luxurious life. I just have.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's, especially as a Christian, I think there are times where you could feel guilty, but I've come to learn that when you have more, you can give more, you can bless more, and you can do more. And so I had to kind of realize like I did have these thoughts of my dream life with my family. I mean, granted, COVID has kind of halted things, but like traveling when we want to and having nice things in our home. And honestly, it's, it is materialistic items, but again, when you have more, like we've been able to bless more this year than we ever have,
awesome.
which is incredible. And so just kind of knowing I want this certain life with my family and my family is worth it. And knowing, we always say like, if your why has eyes, like you should be able to look them in the eyes and tell them like you are worth it. At the end of the
Told
day.
you she's good.
I know. Yeah, sign me
Come
up.
on, let's
Well,
go.
sign up.
Keep going.
No, but just kind of like at the end of the day when things get hard, whether people are quitting my business, quitting my team or whatever it may be, like when times get hard or maybe business isn't moving like it was, just kind of knowing like I want to be able to look my family in the eyes and say you are worth it. You are worth it. Cash is worth it. Bo's worth it. Our next 2 children, because we're going to have 2 more, right?
Maybe three more. I can see you with like 5 kids, bro.
Yeah.
You're good.
But just looking them in the eyes and saying you're worth it. So knowing, having my family behind me, and then also my other why is, I mentioned it earlier, but I said like, it sounds cheesy, but finding more Devyns. I know I'm very passionate about helping women. I know there are men too. I would love to have men on my team, but I'm very passionate about helping women become confident and grow businesses and know that they can do anything. And just kind of finding people who were me a year and a half ago that were like longing for something or needing, whether it's a little bit of extra money financially, or maybe they want to build that dream life, whatever that looks like. So I feel like my why is always evolving because again, it comes down at the end of the day to my family, but it comes down to other people. It really comes down to helping others that are able to now be in the position that we're in and continue that ripple effect. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no,
It's
thanks
amazing.
for coming on. Oh, where can people find you? If they want to get a hold of you or they just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want to say hi. I don't know.
Yeah. I pretty much am only on Instagram. I don't check Facebook.
Instagram works.
Yeah, Instagram, Devyn, period. So it's Devyn, period.
All right, so guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Devyn, thank you for coming on. And just remember that everything was impossible until someone did it. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Kingdom Nutrition. Make sure you guys go and visit their site over at kingdomnutrition.com and enter promo code MFW10 to get 10% off your next purchase. Kingdom Nutrition carries the best sports supplements on the market. They manufacture and curate their own line of supplements with the highest quality ingredients, including a lean protein, weight gainer protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, and an array of other products. They've recently created the world's first vegan chickpea protein, and it tastes amazing. I'm a big dude. I like food, and I like chocolate. So when they told me it comes in chocolate and vanilla, I got really happy. But if you're a workout enthusiast and you want to change up your diet, change up your protein, go check out their vanilla chickpea protein. It mixes well with anything. It'll blend great with a smoothie. So to get your hands on any of these products, just make sure and go visit kingdomnutrition.com. Remember to enter promo code MFW10 and get 10% off your next purchase. Let's go.